Hey, 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 another day, another podcast, and it's me, your host, Julia, and welcome to another episode of Sphere Rocket Podcast Network, your go-to destination and exclusive conversations with top-tier real estate professionals. Hi, you guys. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are settled in and ready to learn a lot and get inspired even more because today we're so thrilled to have a powerhouse in the real estate industry and the esteemed team leader or CEO of the Tyler Miller team. With over a decade of experience under his belt, Tyler has solidified his reputation as a top-tier professional, leading his team to remarkable success. His impressive track record includes consistently ranking among the top 25 teams in Minnesota for 4 consecutive years, with over 1,000 homes sold, a staggering 700 plus of which occurred since 2020 alone. Recognized for his exceptional leadership and industry prowess, Tyler was nominated for Realtor of the Year in 2022. Clinching the titles of Leader of the Year in the same year and Team Builder of the Year twice. Join us as Tyler shares his invaluable insights and secrets to success on our podcast. And together with the Chief Operating Officer of the Tyler Miller team, of course, we've also got Kayla Coleman with us. So let's welcome our awesome guest, the man himself, Tyler Miller and Kayla. Hey, Tyler and Kayla, welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going?
Thanks for having us, and that was like the best hype message of all time. If you could just come with me on all our listing appointments, I don't think we'd ever lose.
No.
That was pretty cool.
Wow, thank you so much. Again, it's such an honor to have you guys here. We can't wait to get to know your story, your business, and everything, and inspire a lot of people right now. So, how did you feel when you got invited?
I felt great. I mean, it's a great partnership that we have with you guys, and your business model has really helped me a lot and helped Kayla even more. And that's why I wanted Kayla to be on this. Sure, I have all the cool things that I've done over my career, but I wouldn't have been able to do any of it without her. So, and then the virtual assistant model has. I mean, she can finally sleep at night because it's not all on her anymore.
Yep.
That is great. That is just perfect. And this is a team we've got here, guys. This is a new setup because we've got 2 awesome guests all in one episode. And I bet there are a lot of ideas that will, come up on our podcast episode. So we can't wait to learn a lot from you guys. And I'm just mind blown by having you both here in our podcast. So let's hear you guys hoot your own horn. Please do introduce yourself, guys. A little background about yourself. How did you start with the real estate business? How you discovered your passion for real estate. Starting off with Tyler, I guess.
Yeah, so I'm Tyler Miller. I've been in real estate I got my license when I was 18, believe it or not. So that's technically almost 20 years ago, but been full-time for 10 years. My dad has been in real estate since I was born. So it's just something I've always been around. And finally, after kind of a failed attempt at a promotion at my previous job, kind of gave me the push to jump into real estate full-time, and did my first year without Kayla, and that was the most stressed I'd ever been. And so I definitely needed an assistant, and she's been with me basically ever since, and we've grown into, now we're at 22 or 21 agents this year. And a lot has changed since then, but that's how I kind of got into it, was just kind of like the family thing to do. I would have made more money selling one house than I would have at Dairy Queen all summer back when I was 18. So my dad convinced me to get my license, and it's been awesome ever since. Such a great lifestyle.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's great. How are you, Kayla?
Sorry. My name's Kayla. I've been with Tyler for this year will be 8 years. That's scary.
I don't know how she's survived.
But I got into real estate. I tried to go out of college and just wasn't my gig. So ended up assisting a couple of teams and then found my way to Tyler. And we've kind of built it from the ground up, I like to say. It started just the 2 of us. And then I like to say we've built an empire, but I don't want to be too.
Yeah, it's getting there. I
It's
mean,
getting there. It's fun to see like where we turned out, and even like the things of where we were a year ago compared to now. So.
yeah. Well, and also Kayla has been basically every position that you could possibly be for me, and so she has a wealth of knowledge, tons of experience, and that's why it's been really cool to kind of see her start to pour back into our team with all her knowledge, and also be able to kind of run our virtual assistant department because she's had to do all of it, so that's been a big help for me, because if it was on me to train them, I don't know if it would have gone so well. But yeah, so, and then also I don't want to have it all be about my accolades. Kayla over here actually has been, she was awarded basically the best assistant in real estate in the state of Minnesota 3 years ago. And then the last 2 years since then, she's been nominated every year since. So she's kind of a big deal.
Wow, I get it. I get it now. Why, she's here and she's one of your trophies right now. That's really amazing. That's quite an achievement, actually. And yeah, I love how you really feature and showcase, part of your team. And yeah, really lifting up people in your team. That's really great. And yeah, I totally agree with what Kayla mentioned. An empire, it's starting and beginning, and it's actually, there is already an empire with you guys, with the Tyler Miller team. And just to give a little compliment, I love the setup right now, the whole podcast thing, the background. I love it. I love the effort. Yeah. Really prepared for it.
We created this, I don't know, within the last 6 months or so, and it's something that I wanted to start doing more podcasts. So we have this studio, and then there's one behind the camera, another studio that's a little bit more bright and cheery and for 4 people versus 2. But it's been really fun to see the team take advantage of it, and I'm really liking it too. Now, and she also has her own podcast, so
Yeah.
Got a lot of stuff going on.
Wow, I love it. I love it so much. So that's so great. Great way to actually upskill your business. Yeah. So going back, talking about business. So I totally, we already know that every real estate business has its own strength. But would you mind sharing Tyler Miller team's strength? Sharing your real estate strength. What's your business superpower? Like one thing our audience could really reach out and get your expertise in.
Yeah. I think if I had to narrow it down to like our one strength, I would probably narrow it down to social media, wouldn't you? I think there's people that do social media better than me, so I'm not going to say I'm the best in the world at social media, but it's definitely been a consistent stream of business since I got into the industry, and so I'd say social media, I have a lot of knowledge on that. I have a good understanding, I think, of what people, what their business plan should look like on social. For example, why maybe you shouldn't have a separate Facebook business page and you should just do it all on your personal profile. Now with the way Facebook is set up, it doesn't really make sense to get people to try to like a business page when you could just do it on your personal. So it's just those little tips and strategies that we use that have paid dividends over the years. And then that's kind of like our big one. But I mean, I built my business through open houses and through business partnerships, with lenders or just other business owners. So I think my whole thing was I just want to become the digital mayor of our community. And I did a lot of that obviously through social media, but then you got to get out in the community, you have to be seen. And so just doing open houses, being in front of other business owners, going to events, it all kind of works together towards one goal. So that's what we try to teach our team. But everybody has different strengths. So it's hard, but that's probably the number one thing I'd say is social media paired with just community outreach.
Wow, that's great. And yeah, I totally salute to you to that, because it's more of adapting to the now, right? And doing that, it could really be a very big benefit for the business. And I love how you really adapt towards, of course, timeliness of the modern era day. So yeah, that's really great to know. And
Julia,
yes.
So I think to have success in real estate, that's one example of what could work. But if you ever want to, like, not that I'm saying we built an empire, but if you want to be in the top 50 or 100 realtors in your area, you're not going to be able to do it alone. Like I mean, you could, but you're going to sacrifice other things in your life, like your marriage or your family or your interests, your hobbies, right? And so if you don't have a good support staff, if you don't have a good assistant, if you don't have good support at home, it's going to be impossible to execute any plan consistently. So like that's where I've been lucky, is I've had a very strong support system, consistently in my business for years. And then recently, again, with adding the virtual assistants, we've seen things really kind of take off, where we're able to focus on even more important things that we've been neglecting because we're only two people, so.
Yeah, I totally agree to that. This may sound cliche, but there is no I in team. So I totally appreciate how you really value your team, your people, your staff, the people that's backing you up, because those people really matter. They're the ones who will really ground you and make that a certain foundation in order for you to, succeed. So that I really agree to what you've mentioned there, Tyler. Yeah. Awesome. So, although there are ups and downs with business, I want to ask, what do you think has been the hardest thing that ever happened to you in business, and how did you overcome it?
Hardest thing. I think from like a sales standpoint and stuff, it just kind of worked for me right away. So it's always hard.
Yeah.
It's always hard to get people to work with you no matter what. Like if it was easy, I'd sell 1,000 houses a year. I don't. So it's always hard. But I think, putting aside how hard it is just to get business, I'd say the hardest thing about what I do is it's a team, right? It's not just myself. And so you naturally become invested with team members. You naturally, you spend a lot of time with them, and you want to see them succeed. And unfortunately, not everybody does. Even though they have all the tools, that just doesn't always work. So I think the people kind of coming in and out of our lives often through the team is fun, because I meet so many amazing people and we have so many great connections. But it's also tough when, they end up leaving the team or leaving your business, because, it's like, hey, I saw something in that person. I thought they would do well. I care about their family. I care about them. And it just it didn't work. So I think that part I know for sure has been the hardest for like me and my wife, because we really care about our team and stuff like that. And I'm sure, as I can see Kayla nodding, I would imagine she feels the same way. So it's more like the personal aspect. If you're going to run a team, if you're going to start a team, be a team leader, like if you ever want it to succeed and grow, you're going to have to actually care about the people, in my opinion. And that comes with the other side of the coin, which is, well, at some point that relationship may come to an end, and then like, you spent all this time with somebody, now they're kind of gone. And so that was one of the big reasons that we actually switched recently to our EXP brokerage, because it allows us to have business partners even if they're not on our team. So that's really been nice the past, couple of years. But prior to that, there wasn't that option. People just either were on the team or they were our competition. So what would you say?
Yeah, I think too, we see like along the same lines, but we see a lot of potential in people, and there's a lot of people that it's like, man, if you just gave yourself a little bit more effort, like you mentioned, it's not easy at all in real estate, and people just want that easy button where it's like, I need a deal today, like boop. And so it's just like teaching the grind to people, that it's just not an instant gratification business.
No.
So yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree to that. You've got to trust the process. You've got to be patient, really grind and work hard for it. And then that's basically the result. You reap what you sow. And yeah, I totally agree to what you mentioned there. And you've mentioned about team, Tyler. There are a lot of other agents who want to achieve a certain team, but still are beginning to create one. So
Right.
what are common, problems along the way when starting at the very beginning of the process of creating a team? What are common struggles you encounter, and how do you recover?
Yeah, I think just the first thing I would say to anybody looking to start a team, make sure you're starting a team for the right reason. And if the reason is money, don't start your team. The money can be there. It can come in many different ways, but right away, that's not going to happen. Like if, because when you agree to start a team, you're also agreeing to pay for things for people that may or may not make you any money. And so I think a lot of people, they get to a certain point of their business and they're like, people are like, well, what's next? And they're like, well, I'm just going to start a team. Well, why? Well, I want to make more money. And that's just not always the case. I would say if you want to start a team because you want to buy more of your time back and you want to reward and help other people, then that's a great reason to start a team. Because a team, if you leverage it correctly, can get you more time, it can get you more freedom, you can have a lot more fun because you're not alone anymore, you're not, lonely. But there's a lot of responsibility that comes with it to do it the right way. And there's, again, a lot of heartache and tough times. And you got a lot of people looking up to you that if the market's not going very good, what are you going to do to help them? And so I would say over the years, it's like a regular real estate business. You sell 10 houses one year, the next year you sell 30. That's a totally different ball game. Like there's so many more things happening. There's more people reaching out to you. There's more obligations. So there's levels to the real estate game, just like there's levels to running a team. And so I would just say it's just learning. The bigger things that we've run into are just like learning what our team needs at that point in time. Now that we have 10 people versus 5, or if we have 15 versus 10, like there's just different things people need and want. So it's just been kind of building out our support system over the years. Because the other thing I'll just caution people on is when your team is 3 to 5 people, you don't need as much stuff to give because the value is you. The value is you're there in the trenches, working next to them every day. They get to hear you, they get to see you, they get to watch you work, right? But if you get to 20, 30, 100 agents, you're not there anymore, more than likely, because you have other things you have to do, you have other things you're managing and running after new opportunities. And so now the value from going from 5 to 10 agents is like the hardest, I think that was the hardest transition, because it's like, well, what is our value now? Like if I'm not buying leads, but I'm not in the office as much, or I'm not able to do personal mentorship, what's the value of a team? And so you're going to have to rediscover yourself a few times along the way. And so those have been a few examples. I know I'm kind of rambling, but it's hard to pinpoint.
No, I think you nailed it.
I don't know.
I think you nailed it, right? Because it's showing the agents that the value is in the systems we have built out, in the support staff that we have, in the
culture though.
The culture. I feel like that's a huge for us, is it's anybody on our team knows that they can go to anybody on our team and get an answer or help on something, So it's just, we've really empowered our agents to help empower other agents. It's hey, you really know a lot, share that with people. Don't just run your own business, you can be a leader too, even though you're on a team.
Yeah, but it's also another just example that sticks out to me is we got to a point where we had too many agents on the team, to have a text message string.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we were communicating via a text message, right?
And somebody would get left out.
Someone would get left out, or you wouldn't check your phone for an hour, and I'd look and I'd have 50 text messages, and for me, that's urgent, I need to respond.
Oh no.
When I scroll through and it's just literally people
memes,
just BSing, and I'm like, okay, we need to change this. I'm no longer okay with a text message chain for our communication. So we went to go adopt Slack, which I think you guys maybe know what Slack is. If you don't know what Slack is, you'll need it for a team, in my opinion. But it's a way you can communicate through different channels. But when we went to go roll that out, immediate pushback. like from our team members. They're like, this is too corporate-y, we don't want this, blah, blah, blah. And it's just all those different opinions that you're going to get when you are a small team. You value everybody's opinion all the time and you want to hear it. And then when you finally like decide to scale, they're going to be like, well, wait, I want my opinion to be heard still. And it's like, it is, but there's more going on now.
Yeah.
And
we set that precedent too when people join the team. It's like, this is the expectation. Like, there's no like, yeah, we can maybe do a text stream. It's nope, we communicate this way, you know? So it's just setting the new expectations and boundaries with people as they come in.
Yeah, basically, if you're thinking about starting a team, feel free to reach out to me.
Yes.
I'd be happy to look into your situation because it's all so different and it just depends on your goals.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, I totally agree to that, period. And it's really, really great to learn a lot from that. I actually learned a lot from that. So thank you so much for sharing those tips and tricks, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And learning, getting to know your value, your purpose towards your team, right? So you've got to get those kinds of, learn that along the way of the process. And with the things a lot on your plate, and talking about team, I know you have some assistants, of course. Kayla's there. And have you ever had, virtual assistants? And if yes, how do they help you leverage your business?
So right now we have two virtual assistants that we were able to find through SphereRocket. So shout out to you guys for helping with that. And then we've had, how long ago did we start that process? Was it like 2 years ago? So over the course of 2 years, we've had, five different assistants that have just some of them, they worked out for a little bit and then we needed to change what we were doing. So we had to get a new one. But anyways, it dawned on me one day. So the reason we got an assistant other than Kayla was she can't do everything. She needed to, with all of her knowledge and all of her experience, she started to become a very big asset just to be around the agents and help them with their business, which then lightened my load so I didn't have to be that person every day, right? But now there's things that she was doing she just can't do. And so it's like, all right, well, we needed a listing coordinator and we needed a transaction coordinator. And then we also need a marketing person because she was doing all that, which she was doing it to the best of her ability at the time. That wasn't her strong suit. The marketing was not her strong suit. No. So that was an upgrade.
I've gotten better.
She's gotten better, but it was an upgrade at the time. Everything else was kind of a downgrade because Kayla is phenomenal at the transaction stuff. And but when we did that, I made the call to hire in-house, hire in the United States here, somebody that could be at the office, because that's just what we knew.
We believed in.
Yeah, it's just what we knew. We didn't know what else people were doing.
Yep.
So we hired in-house and that was great. And again, I think you deal with some of the same ups and downs as team members. People they got emotions. Some days they're good, some days they're crabby. So it was, I don't know, it was just a lot. And so then you get to the point of running a team where you're like, I should be making a lot of money. Let me look. And then you're like, I'm not. And so then you're like, well, this is dumb. How do we fix this? Oh, our salary is 5 times what it should be to run a business of our production. And so the only way to make our team profitable at the time was to unfortunately remove our marketing and transaction coordinator position because it was just too expensive. And so, but obviously you can't do it all. So then we were introduced to SphereRocket and I was like, we gotta look into this. And when I realized that, I don't know if you've had John Glutch on this before. Do you know John Glutch?
Yeah, it kind of rings a bell.
Okay, so he is in our EXP line of partners and we both went to a Mexico trip with this line of partners at EXP, and John Glutch was on up front talking to all of us about how I think at the time he had 24 virtual assistants all through SphereRocket. Wow. And I was just sitting there it just opened my eyes because the way he was talking about them were like members of his family almost. They were like, because when I think virtual assistant, I was like, all right, do they speak the best English? Is this going to be like, are they going to take money if I hook up our accounts and pay them? Like, it's all kind of scary when you don't know anything about it, right? But when he started talking about it very eloquently, I was just like, I need to look into this because he's making it seem like it's incredible. So anyways, we finally did, and the process was amazing. And we were able to, replace our marketing and listing coordinator at, I think, a fifth or a sixth of the cost of what we were paying in America. And I love the people that were doing our job here in our office, but the virtual assistants that we have found, they just seem to be able to handle a lot more workload. And I think it's just also because they're not in the office getting distracted every day by 20 agents, right? Because it just became kind of social hour a lot. And so that's been really nice, where they're literally just able to focus on the things we give them and not kind of have to do the water cooler talk. So we hired a marketing or a listing coordinator and transaction coordinator that took all of Kayla's work. And then, like, just recently, within the last year, I was sitting there talking to Kayla, and I could tell she's very stressed. Kayla wears her stress on her sleeves for everybody to see, and that's okay. That's good. I want to know when she's stressed, but she was very stressed, and I'm like, well, all right, let's play this out. If I'm stressed, I give my stress to you, and then I can sleep at night. And then I was like, but if you're stressed, how do you sleep at night? And she's like, I don't. Like, okay, what if we get you an assistant? So my assistant got an assistant, which I feel dumb that I didn't think about that. And I don't think you ever thought about that either.
No.
I don't know. You were,
because I'm a control freak.
You were always like you were the stopgap.
Yep.
But when I finally was like, oh no, we need to get you your own assistant, that's been massive, I think. Because again, her business model was leveling up to something different. Mm-hmm. I needed her to have more time, and she's like, find the extra hours, Tyler. And I'm like, I got an idea.
There are not more than 24 hours in the day.
So we have the wonderful Anna and the wonderful Kirsten. So Kirsten became her assistant and also does our marketing. And I mean, she's a beast. I don't even know. I don't know how she does it. So Kirsten, if you're watching this, you're amazing. Anna, you know how we feel about you. You are incredible. But they make me, Kayla, any of our past employees look like schmucks. Like, I'm just saying, I mean, she's amazing always, but like their workload, they can just handle so much more than I think I understood.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but there's challenges too. So whoever's watching this, virtual assistants are fantastic, and you should absolutely get one. But my advice to you is make sure you find somebody that has like the backup power generator and stuff, because if they lose connection, lose power, like that could really affect your business if you don't have a Kayla. So that's one thing we've run into a little bit, but everything else has honestly been great. The interview process right away is so nice. You guys don't have to interview these people on your own. There's a Sphere Rocket person that will come and interview them with you and ask the right questions, and they ask what you're looking for ahead of time, and they go and find them for you. And so the process has been great. We've been really happy.
Awesome. I love it. I love it how smooth the process went for you, and how you're having a great time, of course, with having VAs, of course, on your side virtually. And I want to ask Kayla as well, how was your experience with having VAs around?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, obviously, like Tyler said, there's challenges, there's ups and downs, learning our systems, or if we make changes, just making sure that things are done correctly. But it goes honestly like really well, just using different processes and systems out there too to help them. I use a system called Loom. It's a recording system where I can record my screen and my little circle of my face. And I can send videos to them to show them kind of like what I'm talking about. Because sometimes it's hard to type out what you're thinking and what you're saying without, okay, let's pull a Zoom to go over this, So like there'll be times at night I'll just go down and I'm like, all right, I need to get this stuff off my plate. So I record however many videos on different projects, and it's just nice because then it's there for somebody to use in the future if you know, your VA has to go a separate way or we have to go a separate way from them. There's all these videos backlogged of what we're kind of working on. So they've been amazing though. And I think the other good thing about it is they have friends in the industry as well. So like I know Kirsten has had a couple like things. I'm like, I really want to figure out how to do this, and they reach out to other people in their lives and kind of find workarounds or different ways to do things. So it's like they have their own little mini network of people as well to help. And I know Sphere Rocket has a bunch of resources for them as well to bounce off of.
Two things that I've learned from this experience that I'll just share really quick. Any team leader out there, like you alluded to with like, well, it's actually three things. Use video to communicate, but also because you can save those videos and you can build out a process in the event you end up having to hire a new virtual assistant or something like that, right? So now you don't have to retrain or retype up the whole standard operating procedure. It's just there. And so like we've had our assistants go in and literally type out the whole standard operating procedure along with Kayla, you know, taking her old one and just expanding on it. But like have a standard operating procedure that you can give to the next person in the event something happens, right? And then the second thing or the third thing that I've learned is that people are better than you at things.
Yes.
They're just like, yeah, maybe it's not my specific way, but I think the sooner you let go of not necessarily quality, like hold on to your quality, hold on to your brand, hold on to what matters to you, but like if it doesn't look the exact way you thought, but it still works, like just move on, because people don't really care that much.
Yeah.
Like in our industry, they care about the personal relationship that they have with you as their realtor and that you're going to sell their house. They don't care if your podcast curtains are red or blue or yellow. It doesn't matter. And so like, I'm just amazed every time I have like Kirsten put something together for me. She'll send me something and I'm just like, this is so much better than what I was even imagining. Like,
well, and it's just like you're your own worst enemy and you get in your own way. Like there's been several times it's like, no, I can tackle this project. I'm a big girl. I can do it. And then I'm like, I don't have the time to do it. And so then I'm like, I'm sorry I'm having to pass this off to you, but I shouldn't be sorry. And
she apologizes for everything, no matter what, by the way. So.
But
wow.
I get like a massive project off and it's like it just gets done so much quicker because again they don't have the distractions, you know. It's a lot of times it's those bigger projects that's like, all right, I'm gonna do this after hours so I don't get interrupted by anybody, and I passed it off and it's like way better than I could have done, you know, and it took way less time.
Or maybe it's not exactly perfect, but it's 95% of the way there, and then we put our finishing touches on it, right? And like that's the power that scaling with a virtual assistant can do, because again, you know, they're just cheaper than what you can hire here in the States. And so it just allows you to, instead of having just one in-house person, you can have possibly 5 or 4 virtual assistants, which you can move mountains with that. I mean, we've seen that. So
wow, that's totally great. If you would, you know, rate them up 1 to 10 as 10 is the highest, how would you rate VAs on their impact on upskilling your business?
10.
20.
Whoa.
I made a social media post before I came on here, just letting everybody know I was doing this interview, and I just said like the ability that it's given us to scale our business has literally changed my life. It's changed my business. Because, you know, when you have people that are able to do as much as a virtual assistant can do for you, it will make a serious impact. And I don't think I ever want to hire another like actual employee ever again. Like, it's just too much distraction. It really is. I like the ability that they're like, we give them stuff to do, they do it. No one else can really bother them. Like,
it's just me bothering them.
Yeah, it's just us. But I mean, I think when you have a team though, I think we trick ourselves into thinking like, oh, but we need more people around, and like, it'd be nice, right? But at the end of the day, do what's best for your business. Don't put more stress on your plate, And if you're worried that the people in your office are all chatting and not working and all this stuff, it's like, just go virtual. They'll get over it. As long as you deliver on the value that you're promising, they'll get over it really quickly.
Nice. I totally agree to that. I want to pitch this next question to Kayla. With having Tyler Miller, of course, as CEO and leader in everything, I know you've learned a lot. I want to ask, what do you think? What do you think has been the things that you've learned from him that is really, really relevant and really applicable to your life right now?
Oh man, we're going deep.
There's too little things.
We got too little things. You're thinking
No,
of
I'm
two.
saying there's like too few of things.
Oh,
for you to
got
choose
it.
from.
Yeah. No, I think it's just, don't get in your own way a lot of the times. I feel like I do it my own, like myself. I like stress out about the little things, or I think too much about what other people think. And it's like, oh, well, will they like this? Will other people like this? Whatever. And it's just do it. Like, who gives what anybody else thinks? And just put yourself out there. It comes up with like the social media stuff a lot of time with our agents, because they what if people don't like this, or I'm too salesy or whatever. And I've pushed myself out of my boundaries with my social media as well, thinking like, oh, what if my friends just like hate me? And he's like, well, they weren't your friends anyways then, if
if they're not cheering you on, like,
yeah, like who cares,
And I've had not to cut you off, but I'll let you finish. But
You're fine.
I've had the distinct pleasure of watching Kayla grow from, how old were you when you started with me? Like 22 to now you're 30. Oh, you're so old. But like, I think we all know. I mean, if you're past 30, I think we all know that time of your life is very interesting, to say the least. There's a lot of growth that happens, and so I've had the pleasure of watching her along, kind of with me, grow up a little bit, and
you've gotten gray. I'm just kidding.
Got a little gray coming in. But to see her just, I think overall just have more confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying it's just from me, but I think being in this environment has definitely pushed her. I mean, I know for a fact it's pushed her way out of her comfort zone, to where, like, if you would meet your 22-year-old self today, you'd be like, wow, like I have come a long way.
Right.
And so again, I don't think that's all attributed to this team, but
No.
I think being around the people that you've been exposed to over the years, I think maybe has rubbed off on you a little bit.
And like along with that, it's just like, I feel like there's, I don't want to cry. Tyler sees a lot more in me than I see in myself, and he pushes me to do things that I never thought I would do. Like, who thought I would be 30 years old running a real estate team? Like, yeah, his name is everywhere and he's a CEO, but like, I run this show,
She's the boss.
Well, it's like, I never thought that little 22-year-old Kayla would like do that, so it's fun.
Yeah, it's a fun environment to be in, that's for sure. I think we both push each other in our own ways, and
push buttons.
and
Just
push
kidding.
buttons. I have a "you're fired" button that I think I've hit hundreds of times to Kayla just for fun.
Yeah.
But then if she ever lets leave, I like get on my knees and like, please don't go anywhere.
Like today he comes in, I was like, you're being distracting, hold my hand. And I started like walking him outside and he's like, what, you're trying to make me leave? I was like, yes, go. So it's fun,
Yeah, she's a saint for putting up with me, I'll tell you that.
Oh, wow. Well, that is just so nice and so cute. I can really see the growth and how much, Kayla has, of course, grown, as you've mentioned throughout your stories. And I can tell that was really quite a ride throughout those years. And I love it. I love that. We're actually, this next question I want to pitch to Tyler Miller. So why do you do what you do? Beyond the teachings, beyond the money.
Yeah. Well, I think, it's two sides to that. Why do I do it for myself? And then why do I do the whole team leader thing? I think why do I do this for me? Because it is the way to financial freedom, in my opinion. It's a way to, even if I don't ever achieve quote unquote financial freedom, it's allowing me to live a life that I think I wouldn't have dreamed of a long time ago, and that I have our most precious commodity is time, right? And so I just think being in a field that I can buy back time by having success is the main reason I continue to do real estate. Why I run a team is because I'm crazy. I think we both are crazy. But I think at first it was like, hey, I just need help. I had too much business, so it was like kind of organically just brought in some people. But why do we continue doing it? Because I just sincerely believe that we can help people achieve their full potential. And like, not that I've climbed the mountaintop and I've seen everything, but I've seen what this industry can do for people's lives. I've seen like quickly. I mean, we hired somebody last year who was 20 years old. He turned 21. In that time, he sold 16 houses, made over $100,000, got his life together, and is now buying a house and is looked at as one of the biggest up-and-comers in our industry. And that happened like this because we took a chance on him and decided to help his business, and so knowing that we have this gift, we have this skill set to help people, I feel like if we didn't, that's just very selfish and maybe going to be a little bit more of a hollow existence. So I just choose to help people, even though it's stressful.
Yep.
There's a lot more time spent on other people, but at the end of the day, I always tell this to everybody, like, I don't want to retire on a beach by myself. I want to be on that beach with all my friends and all my family. And so that's just more important to me, is like leaving that legacy behind, not for selfish reasons, but just because I think we can really help people. So why not? I'd want someone to do the same for me,
Awesome. Totally agree to that. And yeah, totally inspiring, because you've been changing lives, as you've mentioned, with a few, people as well. And that's really nice to know. You touch a lot of lives with what you do with business, not only just doing business, but of course helping other people with your business. So that's really great to know. Really awesome. So we're actually down to our last question, and then we've got a very short commercial break, but please do stay tuned. We've got a very special segment prepared right after the commercial break. So yeah, I know there are a lot of viewers right now who are very inspired with your success stories. So what do you think is the number one piece of advice you want to give, or you can give, to the listeners that are wanting to get to where you are at now? And how can people reach out to you? What's the best way to contact you?
Yeah. Well, first off, if you want to reach out to me, I'm all over social media. So just look for Tyler Miller on Facebook, Tyler Miller Realtor on Instagram. And otherwise, you can just go to our website, tylermillerteam.com, and you can reach out that way as well.
Real authentic. Tyler Miller.
Tyler Miller, I know. Yeah. I know. I really put a lot of thought into that. But the biggest piece of advice I have for everybody is, like, there's not a magic button, okay? Short of Zillow Flex in this industry, which if you don't know what Zillow Flex is, just move on. It's not going to happen. But like, short of that, there is nothing else that I have seen in this industry that is just going to make your business scale overnight. It is not an overnight success thing. This is 10 years of blood, sweat, and tears, literally. And so the reason that I think people have success quicker is they are just doing more work. Like, there's no substitute for the hard work. But you have to be authentic, and you have to be doing it like something that is passionate to you. Because if you're doing the work but it's coming off as inauthentic, it's not gonna it's just not going to work as well. So you really got to figure out like what it is that you want this business to look like for you, mix in your interests and passions into it. And then like my sign behind me says, it's in case you guys can't read it, it says an entrepreneur is a person who's up late working 100 hours for themselves to avoid working 40 hours for someone else. And that's not like a suggestion or a cute saying like that. Can I swear on this?
Sure, we'll just cut it out.
That is fucking real. That has to happen in order for you to have success. And then when you have success, you can buy back a lot of those hours. You know, you can now take some time off because you have the money to scale and buy back some of that time. But until then, which is going to be 2, 3, 4 years of this industry, that is your life, and you have to love it. And if you don't love it, it's just not gonna happen. And so consistency through hard work sounds cliche, but that is it.
Yep.
There's no magic button. And then get yourself a Kayla, and then good things will happen.
Oh, that's really nice. Really inspiring. And wow, that poster at the back, that really, really means a lot. You can really learn a lot from that poster alone. And yeah, just like what you've mentioned, totally agree to that. And there you have it, you guys. Tyler Miller himself with those inspiring piece of advice. And with Kayla by his side as well. So yeah, with that being said, we have a very short commercial break. Stay tuned, you guys, because the Sphere Rocket Podcast Network will be right back.
Overwhelmed with work? Well, meet your new partner from Sphere Rocket VA. In just a click, get matched with a virtual assistant who handles all the tedious tasks. No in-person hiring, no extra office gear, just easy online help from our recruitment team. It's like having an extra pair of hands minus the hassle. So ready to relax and see your work done just like magic? Choose Sphere Rocket VA and visit us at www.sphererocketva.com.
All right, and welcome back to the Sphere Rocket Podcast Network, of course, with our awesome guests, the one and only Tyler Miller and Kayla Coleman with us, the Tyler Miller team. Hey, welcome back, you guys.
Hey, that was a fun commercial.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Looked a lot before Sphere Rocket. Just pulling our hair out and crumpling papers and just being all upset. So.
Okay. All right. But yeah, talking about with our segment, of course, this is our last segment for the podcast. This is what we call the lightning round. So I'm going to throw some questions, and then you guys tell me the first thing that pops into your mind. So are you guys ready?
I'm ready. She's going to go first.
I'm going to go first. Oh my gosh, that's more pressure.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. Let's see.
That's absolutely true.
Awesome. Let's see what you guys got. So, all right. First question. Favorite business book?
Atomic Habits.
You took mine.
Oh, no.
I like Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Or What the Heck is EOS?
What the heck is EOS? That book is about like how do you run meetings and stuff in your business, and that's also been really helpful.
Yeah. Sorry, I got you too.
Nice. That's all right. Okay. Next, favorite influencer or coach?
Tom Ferry.
Yeah, Tom Ferry probably.
Yeah.
You beat me to that one. No, Tyler Miller.
Oh.
Oh.
I don't know what it is. Find out. But yeah, no, Tom Ferry's fantastic. If you don't follow Tom Ferry, like he gives free coaching advice that literally, it will change your business. Just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Favorite lead generation method?
Social media.
I'll say social media or podcasts.
Well, podcast, social media.
Yeah, I know. But podcasts specifically are super fun, and that it's a great way to invite local businesses in your community to come in and just chat for 2 hours.
Yep.
Like, it's a great way to get in front of people. So I would highly recommend it.
Awesome. Next, what is your biggest goal for 2024?
Well, in our business, our goal is 250 units, which is 100 more than last year. So a big goal.
Mhm.
It's a big
And we want
goal.
to get our team to 30 agents.
Yep, I want to get our team to 30 agents. In life, I want to travel once a year.
I don't know in life. I wasn't thinking about life right now. I was thinking about business.
I know, yeah.
Great. All right. Fingers crossed, of course. And next, of course, last question. What has been your best Amazon purchase as of this year?
Oh, geez.
Oh, jeez.
As of this year, I mean, I feel like the podcast stuff for me, but
Yeah.
that was kind of last year and this year, but I mean, basically everything was on Amazon. So
I really have been enjoying my record player. I know that's so crazy, but I've been like turning off like the electronics, like no TV, like no screens, and just like listening to music a different way.
I have one other one I just thought of.
Okay.
So anybody that has kids, you know that there's like their tablets and watches
Oh.
and headphones and computers, and you're like, where the hell do you put all this stuff? Because I don't want it in my kids' rooms. They're only 8 and 10.
Yeah.
So we ended up buying like stand-up desks and put them. We made like a little home office for our kids as well. And so now they have the desk that has all their shit on it, and it's like a charging station almost. And like that has made my anxiety levels so.
And then
low.
they can't move their cords from there either, right? Like,
right.
okay.
It just stays there.
Okay.
So
I
it's-
like it.
I'm just telling you, parents, it's a hack. You can get a little desk for them, and then that's their hub,
Charging station,
charging station. Yeah.
docking station.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that existed. That's really nice. That's a great hack. So yeah, thank you so much. That was our last question for our lightning round. Thank you so much, Tyler Miller team, for being part of our podcast. Such an honor once again, and I had fun really chit-chatting with you guys and learned a lot. Really a lot. And I bet our audience, our viewers as well too, learned a lot from you guys. Thank you so much once again, Tyler Miller and Kayla, for being part of our podcast episode. Once again, you guys, this has been Julia, your podcast host. Of course, signing off, wishing everybody to enjoy the rest of their day, and hopefully see you again soon on our next episode on Steel Rocket Podcast Network. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you so much, Tyler, and
Thanks, Julia. Have a good
you.
day.
Have a good day.
Feeling the difference with Sphere Rocket VA? Tasks are flying off your list, and there's more me time in your day. And guess what? It's all super affordable. Yes, you heard right. Our virtual assistants aren't just amazing at what they do, they're easy on your wallet too. No more stress over emails or schedules. With Sphere Rocket VA, you get your time back and keep your budget happy. Ready for simpler, affordable workdays? Head on over to www.sphererocketva.com. Join us at Sphere Rocket VA, where every day is easy and easy on your budget.